of the podcast. I'm here.
So 9/11.
Just bust in the room. First thing I say, 9/11 was not a hoax.
No, it was not. Not a hoax at all. Way to open up a can of worms, dude.
Yeah, bro. I wasn't trying to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up? Jesse's couldn't be here tonight, by the way. So we.
This is I'm his cousin from Illinois. From a small town called New Athens, in St. Clair County. I'm giving you way too much geographical detail on where I'm from. Yeah, no, he's sick right now. He's sick right now with angst.
With angst? Just
couldn't be here.
Teen angst. Couldn't make it.
You guys sound pretty similar, though. It's kind of weird.
I mean, we're cousins. You don't sound just like your cousin, man.
It's weird, though, because they're not even blood cousins. It's cousins by marriage.
Yeah.
Yet there's the DNA.
Not even, yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, cousins by marriage. I'm, yeah.
That's a good start.
I've never done a podcast before. I've never done a podcast before, guys. Is this how you typically start them?
Yes, that's a solid start to the podcast. I feel bad for everybody who's watching right now because we just spent like 30 seconds just going.
Yeah. Maybe like 15.
Dude, I'm a little okay. So if we're like rolling off and we're starting this thing right now, like I gotta admit, I'm a little bit jealous that I am not currently Jesse's cousin or grown hair overnight.
Yeah.
Trying not to say the word wigs.
No, we didn't think you'd be here tonight, man.
Yeah, no.
Because he was getting his dick hard out at the record bar. Shout out to that whole area, my favorite area in Kansas City.
It was pretty chill. I went to a concert like last minute, like, hey, here's some free tickets. Come see the Spill Canvas with us. And I was like, yeah, that sounds dope as fuck. So I'm going to need Paul to run this one. Johnny cannot interject any clever advice tonight.
Did you ever, though?
Good point. I'm also hurt inside. Thanks, Jesse.
My bad. That was real fucking
yeah,
fucked to me.
That was deep. I'm a little insulted.
Sorry, my bad, man.
I'm going to cry now.
I'm going to fucking go down.
Yeah, no. So I need Paul to run it and Jesse's cousin to take over a little bit, and I will interject every once in a while when I can. But
what if I legally change my name to Jesse's cousin?
Super lit.
Can I do that?
Just
Jesse's cousin?
Do it, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies. Here in Missouri, in the middle of the United States of America.
It's where Missouri is.
It is. Kansas City is the most geocentric to the middle. It's actually a city somewhere in Kansas that's actually...
If you're talking about geometry, or not geometry.
Fucking Joplin?
Like geography, it's definitely in Kansas, like far west Kansas, actually. But if you're talking about like population and cities and stuff, it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City's centric.
Yep.
We've talked about this before. We talked about like manufacturing, distribution, all that
the actual
shit.
population of Kansas City has surpassed St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
No
way.
That can't be right.
Like dude, Kansas City proper?
They had like four times the amount of our fucking population.
St. Louis has to be bigger.
No,
than
we're
KC
at like
proper.
461,000 in Kansas City.
That's not that much at all.
In the city. Look it up, man. Look it up.
I mean, I believe you. I have no reason to doubt you other than like...
They need to just quit fucking around and make Kansas City the capital of not the United States, sorry.
That's
of Missouri.
Aggressive.
Yeah,
Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri.
Why not, dude? Fuck Columbia.
What the fuck does
Columbia's not the capital, by the way. It's Jefferson City.
My bad. Which is right next to Columbia.
No, that's actually way south.
No, Jefferson City's super south. Columbia is north of KC.
Columbia is right in the middle of Missouri.
Right. And north. It's north of Kansas City. Jefferson City is south. Like super south.
No. Jeff City's right next to Columbia. It's extremely close.
You think any of these motherfuckers watching this podcast right now give a fuck about
someone's in Saudi Arabia right now, like
what the capital of Missouri is?
They're close to each other.
They turn this podcast on and they see me in this gnarly ass fucking wig, American hat, American flag bandana, the Neff fucking glasses, and we're gonna talk about geography tonight.
Jesse's cousin. That's not your natural.
By the way, I got super dressed up to give you basic fucking geography.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were wanting to hit a topic up, Jesse, and just let us hear about it a little bit. Let's get into it. What is it?
Okay, so this was discovered very recently. This is just another bullshit thing that's happening within the collegiate institutions within America right now. You have, and I'm trying to, like, this is how I explain it to a motherfucker, is to where it's, like, relevant to them. So a lot of people have taken the SAT or the ACT. I'm assuming. I never have. But there's a lot of people out there.
You take a pre-ACT.
I mean, I did the
Go ahead,
Missouri
I took in Missouri. I took the ACT. I took the ACT.
But like when you're like a sophomore or freshman, you take like a pre-ACT.
You don't have to. That's
yeah. But you can take
depends
it.
Depends on your school and if you want to. Yeah, I never took a pre-ACT. I took the ACT.
Anyway,
twice.
That's fucking regardless. People who are trying to better themselves and they take an ACT or an SET to see what collegiate level they can get into. As far as their, capabilities.
Paul, I was so wrong. They're 33 minutes away from each other. Columbia, Missouri, and Jefferson City are
really
30
close.
minutes away from each other.
Really
what
close.
the fuck were we smoking? I was way off.
I don't fucking know. Anyway, back to my shit, which is way more fucking interesting than United States fucking geography on where cities are located and distance between the two.
No, that's actually important.
You have, whenever you take an SAT or an ACT, that information gets sent to the college board, which then processes that information and fucking oversees all that. It's not a high school. At first, I thought the high school just overseed the ACT and the SAT. Fuck, I just said that acronym fucking wrong. But basically what's happening right now is colleges will come in to the college board and pay verbatim, straight up, 47 cents. And I'm assuming it's like a package thing. It's not like they're going from individuals. What it's cost them per individual.
47 cents per person.
47 cents per person to learn their name, their enough personal information to know their address, and they learn their ACT or their SAT score, knowing that there is no fucking way you're going to get into my goddamn college right now. But what I'm going to do...
But you're close.
But
you're close. You're close.
You're close. But there's no way you're getting into my fucking college. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a very appealing letter that makes you think that you could actually get into my very prestigious institution. And then what that person does is go, holy fuck, Northwestern's fucking hitting me up right now? Holy fuck, Yale's hitting me up right now? Holy fuck, Stanford's fucking hitting me up right now?
Phoenix University Online?
No, not that one.
Never mind, you can get into that no matter what.
So what they do is they get all excited. They're like, holy shit, like these colleges are looking at me. They pay the application fee, which is ranging anywhere from $40 to, I think, almost close to like $150 if I remember right.
Is it that high? I thought it was just under 100. I thought it was like 90.
That's probably the average. Probably the average is 90, but even some like Yale, dude, application fee at fucking Yale is going to be like fucking probably like $200 fucking dollars. I bet you could look it up. I bet it's closer to $200 for Yale or the Ivy League schools for an application fee. So basically what they're doing, they get your information. They pay 47 cents for your information. They go, I'm going to fucking scam you into attempting to get into my college right now, and you're about to give me, let's just say $90. You're going to give me $90 to attempt to get into my institution. At that point, I already knew that I was going to reject you regardless. Reject you. I just made, I don't do the math on that. That is $89 and
53 cents.
53 fucking cents off of you. And I get to show on paper that people are trying to get into my college, and we have such high standards that
which
we just
makes us
didn't
look
let,
more prestigious.
We just didn't let them in.
Well, they're already prestigious.
No, but I mean, it makes them look more, though, if they have more applicants.
Whenever they can pull up statistics, is look at the amount of people attempting to get into our college. This is just like another fucking thing where the collegiate institution is entirely corrupt. They don't actually, all they're worried about is money. They're not worried about, and this is what bothers me the fucking most, they're not worried about education or, I'm sure at some point they're worried about education, but that's not their first and foremost goal.
For-profit. It's a for-profit school.
Is how much money we can make off of you in this process, which I think should not how a society should be run.
Did they say how many kids this happens to? Just to get a figure on how much money they're actually making off doing this process?
I couldn't tell you.
It's
that amount.
It's obviously in the millions, would be my guess for sure.
I doubt it's okay. There's also
100 kids times.
Okay, so I'm 100% against this. Like what you're saying right now is super fucked up. I think we can all agree on that. That's super fucked up. That's just an easy way for them to make money, an easy way for the school to look better. At the same time, just to play devil's advocate here, if you're a halfway bright individual and student, you know your capabilities.
What 18-year-old knows what their capabilities are?
Okay, you know.
No.
I knew when I was 18. I know that if I get a letter from like 30 different colleges, which is what happened, I know the ones that I'm not going to get into and the ones that I'm not going to apply for, because me at that age, I was still somewhat smart enough to realize that the ones that I was getting were very much like when you get a credit card in the mail and they're like, you're pre-approved. Go ahead, sign up, Capital One. It's an ad. It's an advertisement. It's a brochure. And I knew that. Some people might not, but there's plenty of people who do as well realize and are smart enough to realize that that is an advertisement and you are not going to make it. Now, at the same time, there's some people who are smart enough to realize that they're not going to make it, but they're confident is not the right word. They're so enthused by it that they want to anyways, so it's worth it for either their own money or their parents' money to pay that $90 and apply. And then boom.
Because they get all excited about it.
Yeah.
It's the college institution sucking people
it's
dry.
It's a fucking scam artist fucking mentality.
100%.
Do you want your collegiate institutions to have a scam artist mentality on that fucking level?
And not
to where they don't have the morality to be like, we shouldn't just be making money off people because we can take advantage of them. That seems ridiculous to me.
Your college shouldn't just be sending out fake fucking, you're pre-approved bullshit like credit card companies.
Definitely
and I get it. Like every institution's fucking corrupt, right? But I mean, whenever it's...
But no, you're right. They shouldn't be just sending out that shit.
No, they shouldn't.
Not when they're charging however much money it is for tuition just to be in that college. You know, and you have kids, not everyone gets a full ride. You have people that are actually paying out of pocket or getting in student debt at the age of 18 for $40,000.
The majority of people.
Yeah.
Very few people get fucking full rides.
And I'd be interested to see the numbers and the amount of money that these colleges make per year based off tuition alone, just to sit there and try and get just to nickel and dime people to add an extra $100
You're also,
per application.
as someone who had a full ride to a couple of colleges, like as someone who, I went to college. I didn't go to one of the ones I had a full ride at because I didn't choose that school, and that's not the one I wanted to go to. But I had a full ride at a couple of colleges.
Jesse's cousin's gonna piss already.
Those full rides come with some pretty harsh stipulations. Like, not just GPA. Like, not only do you have to continue to have a 3.8 GPA in college to continue that full ride, but other things as well, like a certain amount of some kind of community service hours, or you can't miss this many classes or have to spend this much hours doing so. It's like there's a lot of stipulations with those full rides that people don't realize. So you end up like losing that scholarship. Like you go to school thinking that you have that scholarship, and then during your first or second semester you lose that scholarship, but fuck it, right? You're already signed up at that school.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean,
so you continue to go there, and now you're paying out of pocket or figuring out a way to pay.
Well, I think it's interesting.
That was the quickest piss known to man. Did you even make it out of the room?
Figuring out a way to pay it and allowing, and a lot of times people may have to involve their parents to get a, to be able to take on the amount of debt it takes to go to college in the first place. But you're right. I mean, so you were at a point in time where you had to make that decision on how to fund your education, and then you chose no, like you just stepped out, or did you actually, like, what happened?
So I had a full ride to several schools. I can't remember the names of all of them. I had a full ride to Drury University for sure. That's the one that I really remember that I thought about going to. I ended up going to Jesus Christ, Mike Tyson up in here, Northwest Missouri State University, because it was a school that I really liked. It was a campus that I liked. It was the correct distance from home where I could come back if something was needed, but it was far enough away I could get away from home. Yada, yada, yada. There were multiple reasons that I chose to go there. And I had a scholarship there. I had like the Bright Flight, blah, 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 bullshit in Missouri. Almost a full ride. Not completely, but almost a full ride. And I lost it. Within my first 2 semesters, I lost it due to, let's be honest, due to partying and fucking off and GPA dropping below where it should be and not showing up to enough classes and so on and so forth. And then I continued to go. And pay out of pocket and whatnot. And like, I wouldn't trade college for anything. I had a blast, just like you guys had a blast doing whatever you were doing at that age, because that's part of life. That's when you enjoy life and meet a lot of your close friends and so on and so forth. But I don't remember where I was going with that, to be honest. I lost my train of thought. You asked about like
just the amount of money that it takes to pay out of pocket.
The amount of money was, I mean, when I left school without a degree, I might add, which is my own fault. It's my own fault. I'll admit that. But when I left school without a degree, after paying tons of money, I still left with $11,000 in debt. With no degree, paying $11,000 as a 20-year-old to nothing. Not a car payment, not a house payment, not anything tangible. Not that I'm saying a car is worth it. I'm just saying nothing tangible. No degree, nothing. $11,000 I owed to this place. For subpar teaching, by the way. Not trying to down Northwest. This isn't a direct attack on that college. This is kind of an attack on college in general. For subpar administration, I mean, Jesse, your girlfriend right now is going to school. And she has complaints all the time about the fact that she goes to class, learns things, and then has to go home and do all of the homework, all of her final, her midterm and her final are not in school. Like she's not in online classes. She is in a school where she sits in person, yet her final and her midterms are online and through a third-party program that the school pays for, and by the school I mean her.
And she's had trouble logging in before. She's had trouble turning in assignments, and all they basically tell her to do is you need to rebuy the semester again. That way you can log in.
No.
And she's been through customer help and like talking to her.
Education has become a for-profit industry.
To where they literally, they're just like, how many ways can we drain you of fucking money from textbooks to parking to just all this? How much money can we possibly fucking make?
Yeah, I forgot about that too. I paid hella fucking parking fees.
Dude, it's everything.
Like, why is that not included in my shit? Why am I paying parking fees to live on campus?
Everything. It makes no fucking sense why people are profiting. If you're putting work into something, you should be able to make some money. But the amount of profit people are making from college institutions and just ruining motherfuckers' lives, like going into so much fucking debt because they felt like
it's at 11,000.
I needed to get a philosophy fucking degree from KU, and you can't do anything with it.
I'm 29 years old, and I paid off that $11,000 2.5 years ago. No degree. No degree, nothing to show for it. Like I said, once again, my own fault. But no degree, nothing to show for it. I paid off that $11,000 2.5 years ago.
I would disagree and say that it's not your fault. I mean, to allow anyone at the age of 18 to make a decision, 18 to 21.
No. It's my fault that I didn't graduate. It's my fault that I did not take it seriously enough.
But we all know what the education system has become here in America. Obviously, we're talking about, it's about profit. And from the ages of 18 to 22, it's a very, like you said, you're going to party. I mean,
yeah, you're not.
It's probably like 90% of kids who go to college probably party. There's that 10% who are the future of America.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of your, like, that's a growing experience. If you don't go through that, I feel like you're missing out on something.
Right. And there are those people who don't have that experience and they work really hard and then they graduate and they don't go into debt. Or maybe they are in debt, but they're the part of that 10% and they're probably the future of our government.
Even then they're probably still, like,
but what I'm saying,
if you didn't go to college, you still probably partied and had a good time at that age and met lifelong friends.
Right. For sure, but I think what I'm trying to say is, I think is capitalism at fault for? Should capitalism be allowed in the education system?
That's actually the most solid question.
No,
honestly,
absolutely. Should there be profit within what should be the most fundamental portion of our society whenever it comes to bringing up the next generation? Is that you want the next generation that will be taking care of us one day. You want them to have better education.
To be better and smarter than you.
Better, smarter, with, a better grasp on the world, better ethics, or not better ethics, but more adaptive ethics to the fucking time, to where they're not regressive.
Like refined ethics. Like
refined, yeah, I hate using that word. But yes, this to where you're charging people for something that is the betterment of fucking humanity and to just have happier people and a general better society. So just a small handful of fucking people can.
No, that's
have a
that's
shit
the problem
ton of
right there.
money?
Is that 40% of my income goes to taxes, which should be for the betterment of mankind in general. Like if that's what the government is striving for, which they obviously aren't. But yeah, no, education should be. I'm not saying education should be free. We pay taxes though. Education should come a good amount out of that. Like it's. I don't.
Should it be trade schools? I mean, could you imagine?
What about trade schools?
Could you imagine?
I wish I would have went to trade school instead. By the way, I love cars. I love messing around with cars. I don't know that much about them. I know a decent amount. I know enough to get by. I don't know as much as I would like to, and I wish I would have went to trade school for it.
Imagine if.
Why can't you have a trade school for everything?
Exactly.
But instead, I went to college.
That's what I'm saying. There shouldn't be
and learned a whole bunch about
shit you'll never
nothing relevant,
use.
and I never got the piece of paper.
Which don't get me wrong, like learning some shit that's outside of other shit is beneficial to you as well. Like you should never just be so.
I learned more from the college experience than I did from class.
What do you mean, Jesse? I'm kind of confused because if you're really skilled at one area,
that's absolutely.
What is the point though to learn those other things? I mean, eventually you could do that on your own. You don't need education to tell you those things.
Exactly.
If Johnny wants to,
think that I was defending
18, if Johnny wants to learn how to work on cars, he could fucking own his own car shop right now, making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year.
But don't think that you just can't go in and learn something,
you should still learn
and that you're
For
limited.
sure.
The whole point. Okay, don't think that I was arguing against it. Don't ever think that I was arguing against it.
I don't think that at all. You just said it, so I was just kind of attacking it.
Yeah, which is completely fair because the way that I worded it. Don't ever think that you can't come in and spend some time on something that you're not acclimated to or not. What's the word I'm looking for?
Accustomed?
No. You're really good at it just naturally. Like shit that you're just like really good at naturally. Like you can't spend time on something or like learning something else outside.
Can't you do that in your free time?
But you absolutely can. You don't have to fucking pay money for it. I'm pretty sure any college course you could look up probably online and find
that's
some
the
shit
problem,
for
though.
fucking free.
That's the inherent problem is you can look up all this stuff online. I can learn whatever I would learn in college online, but a job is not going to hire me.
And what's
based on that?
But you know what's crazy?
They want the
when you
piece
really
of paper.
learn it.
They want the piece of paper.
When you really learn the job is whenever you're doing the job, though.
Right? All right.
Well, what do they also say in America? It's who you know. It's networking's a very
that's
big,
part of it. That's part of it.
And a big part of it.
Yeah, no. A huge part of it.
They don't teach you that. You know? I mean.
No, it definitely feels like, and I'm not, I should point this out for the people out there who happen to be watching. I'm not saying college is a bad thing. There are people who should go to college, and I'm glad that those people go to college. But the way that we are, like, almost indoctrinated at a high school level to where college is the next step. Literally, your counselor in school, like when you're in high school and you have a counselor, a guidance counselor or whatever they call it, they may help you with little things here and there, but they're not there to make you a better person. They're not there to like really help you with some like emotional problems. Literally, your guidance counselor is the same person, at least in my school it was, at least in the 3 high schools I went to it was. Your guidance counselor is the same person who is like in control of helping you do your college shit in the future. I don't know if it was that way for you guys.
Yeah, it was.
But your guidance counselor is the one who's like, hey, like, this is when you should go take the ACT and stuff.
They sit you down, have a conversation.
Yeah, come talk to me. This is what you're good at. We've talked, blah, blah, blah. This is what you should go to school for, so on. So, like, it's literally, high school pushes you into college. And, like, that's not for everybody. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
it's to fund it. They're literally funding the college system.
I don't know. There's just nothing wrong with, man, if you're in high school right now, like, if you're 16 years old, and you really like, and I'm just going back to cars because it's what I've been thinking about recently, but like you really like working on cars and your dad has showed you a bunch of shit and you're doing that and so on and so forth, don't think that you necessarily have to go to college to be better in life. You can research things and learn things on your own and expand your fucking knowledge base, yet still go to a trade school and learn about mechanics and become a mechanic and then eventually learn about business and own your own shop and so forth and be making 3 figures a year. before you're 30. By the way,
and that's the thing. Like, if you go to college for business, right? You have to go through general education in all colleges, correct?
Yeah, all colleges. Basically, the first 2 years. You can do it in whatever order, but the first 2 years are basically gen ed.
Get to the meat, man. Get to the meat.
If you're going to, and I'm just throwing out a random photography. I would never go to school for photography, but if you're going to school for photography, guess what? The first couple of years are going to be general education. The shit you've already learned about, like the Revolutionary War. Guess what? You're going to learn about it some more.
So as opposed to
why though?
Because as opposed to 4 years, I mean, it's 4 years, so they want 4 years of your money when it could be 2 years. Go straight in, learn what you need to know.
You know what's crazy about that? Most trade schools are 2 years because you go right into learning about the thing that you want to know. You go to welding, you're learning about welding from the get-go. They're not like, okay, welcome to welding class.
Now it's time to bake a cake.
Yeah. Now it's time to learn about George Washington.
Yeah.
No, they don't do that. But college does. Which, in hindsight, if I had done college the right way, I wish that I would have went to a cheap, what is it called?
Community college?
Yes, thank you. A cheap community college for the first 2 years to get the gen eds out of the way at a lower price point, which is teaching me the same thing as the higher price point, by the way.
But some of those colleges don't even transfer over those credits.
You can look that up ahead of time. That's right. Honestly, I don't blame the colleges for that. That's a little bit on you. I
think at its core, colleges had a really good thing going on because there's only a handful of individuals that I went to high school with that knew exactly what the fuck they wanted to be whenever they graduated high school, and this is the career path that they're going to choose. So for the other 98% of us, we didn't know what the fuck we were going to do. So we needed to kind of dip our toes in different things. And I think college kind of gives you that. This is what I will say positive towards college. So you go into college, you are officially like kind of getting out there on your own. You're not relying on your parents anymore. You're becoming a young adult kind of thing, and now you need to figure some shit out. But at the same time, you need to experience all these different, maybe history really was your fucking thing because now it's being taught at a fucking higher level, or maybe math really is your fucking thing, or maybe it's this, and it's like a self-discovery process, like early on within your collegiate career coming in. So I see that as being beneficial.
The idea.
The problem is, though, and maybe I don't have a lot of evidence here because I went to several high schools, but I only went to one college. So I don't have a lot of evidence here. But the shit that they taught me in college, as far as, I get what you're saying. Like, you go through several, gen eds is so that you find your niche. You find what you're really into. Here's the thing. The stuff that they taught me in gen eds was at the same level as high school. Like, the shit that I learned in general education classes, history, statistics, college level algebra / calc 1, whatever, all that shit was the shit that I learned in high school. No different. It was literally like a reiteration.
And there may be hiring, or like
maybe that was just my school. Like I said, I only have one sample size to go off of.
And you did say that you weren't a big fan of how they taught, but the more prestigious schools, it might be different. We don't have anyone that
pay that money. You got to pay more for that.
But even then, Jesse, I think the idea, how you just explained it, the idea of college and the process of it, is a beautiful idea, and yes, people should go through that, and kids should experience that. You're right. That's the way for you to spread your wings.
If you don't know what you're doing, immerse yourself amongst people you've never met before.
Right.
Experience new people, new ideas, go through classes.
That's how you network. That's how you meet people and stuff like that.
Maybe narrow some shit down for you mentally as actually like, you know what, I really feel like I'm going to be good at this, and this is what I want to do.
Exactly. But they shouldn't be teaching you the same shit you learned in high school.
No,
and granted, not. That's just one school. But the second point is they shouldn't charge you an arm and a leg to do that.
I mean, that's the big thing is the price point.
Exactly.
The price point. Because, college is fun, and I don't just mean fun in like a fuck off kind of way. I mean fun in a like developmental kind of way. Like, you meet a lot of interesting people that, I hate to say, for anybody who happens to be watching this who is in high school right now, your high school friends will most likely not be the friends for the rest of your life. That's just part of life. You grow older, you meet new groups of people. Like, I mean, these guys right in front of me are some of my good friends that I literally met 4 years ago.
I still have friends. I still have people that I consider friends from high school. But dude, I do not keep in contact with them. If I saw them like randomly,
no, you might have a couple, but I mean in general, like if you had a friend base, like you remember going to high school parties and you had fucking 20 friends that you were like somewhat close with, like you're not gonna remember all them. High school is not the end all be all, and neither is college. But college is that developmental age where you learn a lot of that shit and you join a lot of like different.
Well, I think now it's more ideology that's going on. These professors are just like, and I'm not trying to
bring
There's
a lot more to college than classes, though, too.
Bring it up, too. If we're just going to stick on what's wrong with college in America today, dude, bring it up, because I think it needs to be brought up.
Which, by the way,
I know what you're about to get to.
Whoever's made it 30 minutes into this podcast, Mike Anderson will be on next week, and I think...
Love that motherfucker.
I think that this point will come a little bit within that, is the tribalism that is actually influenced its way into the college campuses. Because they truly have. I mean, you have Ben Shapiro, and I'm not saying I'm a fan of Ben Shapiro, but literally there have been colleges that he's set up a speech there in their auditorium, and then when he gets there, they're like, no, you can't be here. Like, we're not going to do it. You have to go do it somewhere else. Because now it's ideology. You have a lot of far left 18 and 19-year-olds who have no idea what that means, and no, we don't want Ben Shapiro here. And
that's got to be the most satisfying thing as a public speaker, because you know what you've said has had an impact. If there's anything, like, we sit down here and we talk into a mic for a long time, but if we do this for long enough and somebody is actually so upset at what I've said to where they literally want to limit me, that's when I know I fucking made it. I'm like, holy shit, I have had such an effect that somebody is attempting to limit my speech right now. That's how you know you fucking made it. As anybody, public speaker or even as a podcaster, like, dude, I would love somebody to just be like, hey,
which
man,
actually I don't blame
this.
them.
I don't want you to do this anymore. I'd be like, yes, I'm gonna keep fucking doing it now.
I don't blame the colleges.
Some fucking change here.
I don't blame the colleges too much for that, even though they're at fault because they're the ones who stop it in the end. I kind of blame students a little bit, and by that I mean on an individual basis, I blame people. We've talked about this before. I've brought this up several times because I'm a strong believer in it, in the fact that you should seek out opposing opinions to your views because it makes your views stronger if you truly believe in them. So when you as a student say that you do not like Ben Shapiro and you don't believe in what he stands for and you don't want to hear him talk, that's you being a lesser person and at fault. And listen to someone that you do not agree with.
We've gotten away from that. We truly have. And there have been many outlets that have come out and said that they're trying to...
A lot of people...
You have some neo-Nazi motherfucker, right? Some neo-Nazi cultist motherfucker.
Right,
yeah, 100%, man.
People are in an echo chamber. They like their own thoughts projected back at them to feel better.
For some reason, though, it's the far left right now. And
no, I agree. And we've talked about this. I'm more on the left. I'm definitely in the middle, but slightly to the left.
They've taken over and they're silencing
I'm right there too, but in a different
conservatives.
way. That's weird. I feel like I'm right there too, but not in the same way as you. But no, like, so what's much better than just saying like a neo-Nazi, bald-headed, leather jacket motherfucker, swastika on his fucking shirt.
Thank God I'm not wearing a leather jacket.
Saying, hey, you can't speak here. You can't speak here. It's this. Why not try to have a conversation and show them?
I mean, that's an extreme.
And be kind. I know, but be kind in the end, in an attempt to change them from their core, because that's what really has an effect. Because all you do by locking them up or shutting them down fuels their fucking fire for continuing. The same way with like Ben Shapiro. Like whenever you talk about Ben Shapiro can't talk, right? I'm not saying Ben Shapiro is...
At campuses, some campuses don't allow him to be there.
But all it does is fuel Ben Shapiro to keep doing what he's doing. I'm
Right.
not saying whether or not he's right or wrong. I can say that if you're a neo-Nazi, I have definite opinions on why I think you're fucking wrong in your fucking mentality and in how you can hate on certain groups. But the difference is you shouldn't be shut down. You as an individual who disagree with him should be able to sit down and attempt to have a conversation with him and not just be in a fucking rage at the fact that this is how he thinks, because you've never lived in the motherfucker's shoes to begin with.
The only thing that I'm slightly disagreeing with you on there, and I agree with like 90% of that, is the fact that, and I know you were just doing it as like an analogy, but those are uncomparable things, because when you have someone like Ben Shapiro come to your college, He's taking questions. He's listening, so on and so forth. And there's
he's not super radical.
A small bit of back and forth there. As to where you're talking about a neo-Nazi who does things, usually that is a sermon or a preach or a lecture, which I do not agree with as much because that is a direct influence or attack on the audience. You're just throwing words at them, and there is no back and forth.
That's a big issue that I have fucking with like religion and shit for the same reason. At the fact that you just go out there and you speak words and they're exposed to accept it. You never ask, hey, now, never after like a sermon with a preacher will they go, now, what do you guys think about what
do you disagree with?
Right.
Yeah, what do you disagree with what I just said?
You don't disagree.
No, they don't do that because supposedly that's 100% perfect, which is also what the neo-Nazis fucking do.
Which is why I like
and also
people like...
what extreme fucking liberals do also at the same time, because extreme fucking liberals have the same fucking mentality. Extreme right-wing religious people have the same mentality that they fucking have it right, and there's no arguing against it. I fucking know. When any motherfucker that says I fucking know, you don't.
They're wrong.
Fucking
they're
know.
wrong.
You don't fucking know. You really don't. None of us do. We're just trying to make the best of it.
We are. And fortunately, I think that public education has done us a disingenuous. I can't even make a sentence with that word. Sorry. They've done us a disservice, the public education, for how bad it is and how much they actually teach us and to be. They basically teach us to be obedient, right? And I think it's frustrating that they don't teach us actually how to live in the world that we live in, especially when it comes to law and how to basically just work your way around the law. For instance, and I know we've talked about police and shit like this. And maybe we're going to go a little bit into this.
Don't talk to the cops.
Yeah, definitely don't talk to the cops. But so
don't talk to cops.
So high impact vlogs. I'm going to mention his name again, Brian. I'm still trying to get him on the show. I comment on all his posts and shit like that. We're going to have him on the podcast. It's just a matter of him. He's reached out to me and said he'd do it. It's just a matter of when. But he's not against police, right? He's not at all. But he shows videos of policemen doing wrong things. So that's
the whole point. So like police is just nobody. Like I don't have anything wrong with police. I have some issues with some human beings.
Individuals?
With some individual human beings that are also with like there are good Christians, there are bad Christians, there's good Muslims, there's bad Muslims. Right. There's good police, there's bad police. There's good Republicans, there's bad Republicans.
For sure. But
so what you need to do, because you're in a weird position whenever it comes to fucking police and some shit and the authority that they have.
Exactly.
You don't talk to those motherfuckers. You don't know if they're good. You don't know if they're fucking bad.
Right, and if you
protect your fucking self in the end.
I don't think that's
don't
what
talk
Paul
to cops.
Sorry.
No.
I don't think that's what Paul was getting at.
No. But I kind of like exactly what you said. But sometimes if you don't talk to him, that makes him even more infuriated. This dude was literally eating a cheeseburger.
Sure, right.
He was eating a cheeseburger. I forget which city he was in. I was watching it just before you came over. Eating a cheeseburger before he's getting on the bus. Or, sorry, not the bus, but the train. Maybe it was Chicago or New York or whatever. He was going to take a train to go to work at 8 in the morning. He was downstairs at wherever the train was. He bought a sandwich to eat in the morning. He's up there.
Was it a cheeseburger? Because
yeah.
If I see a motherfucker eating a cheeseburger at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm probably going to
arrest.
I'm probably going to arrest the fuck out of him.
No, you will not. You will not fucking
nobody
believe
eats
it.
Cheeseburgers.
Right,
you will not fucking believe it.
I'm actually interested in what Paul is saying.
He's literally in line to get on the to get on the train, and the cop comes up to him and is like, "Dude, you can't eat that. Like, there's no eating here." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean? There's no video evidence of this." They start recording when he starts getting into it with the cop, but I guess you can't eat on the platform before you get on the bus. He thought you couldn't eat on the train. Sorry, he thought you couldn't eat when you get on the train. So the cop's like, "Well, you need to throw that away." And he's like, "I'm not going to throw my sandwich away. I'm just fucking eating a sandwich." And then the cop's like, "Well, now I'm going to detain you because it's illegal to eat this sandwich on this platform." And then he's like, "Can I see your ID?" And the dude's like, "No, you can't see my ID. I'm eating a fucking sandwich." So then he calls 4 more fucking cops.
That's not a problem with police. That's a problem with the law. That's a problem with the law.
But to enforce that, are you kidding me? How do you enforce that? How do you enforce and even get into an altercation with someone because they're eating a fucking sandwich?
Any rational mind fucking police officer in my mind goes, "Sir, okay, you can't eat your sandwich here, and I know that this is an inconvenience for you. Can you just wolf this motherfucker down real quick?"
Yeah. Wolf
just
it down.
Just
go wolf
finish
it down.
Yeah. Don't throw it away.
No, that comes to like you just said.
Who
a
writes
reasonable
a ticket for eating a goddamn fucking?
And that's the thing.
Sandwich,
He was trying
man.
to write him a citation, and that was his justifying him
but then-
IDing the guy. And the guy's like, "You're not going to ID me for eating a sandwich."
But then he gets heated in this whole thing. It's all out of stupid fucking bullshit. First of all, why can't you eat a goddamn sandwich before you get on a fucking train?
What Johnny's point? It's the lawmakers.
No, that's a problem with the
Is
law.
that
That's
like some
hold up.
stupid
That's
shit?
a problem with the law.
If I was
Ignore
a-
that though. If the law is the law, you supposedly follow it, so on and so forth. So I do not blame the police officer for
Enforcing that?
I do not blame the police officer for trying to enforce it. I blame the law in the first place because that's ridiculous. I also blame him for enforcing it so strongly. Like, it's the law.
You're right.
You're a
There's
police
some
officer.
shit that should be
so
enforced
what
a little
do-
bit differently than fucking other things.
So what you do is
They
go
extort
up.
money.
What you do is go up as a police officer and say, "Hey, this is against the law. I'm a human being. I may not agree with this law. I think it's ridiculous. Who cares if you eat a sandwich here? Who cares, honestly? But it's the law, and this is my job as part of the community to enforce this law. So right now, I need you to finish that, throw it away, or step off the platform." But you be
Chill
somewhat
about it. Yeah.
a fucking human being about it. Like, goddamn.
For sure. And I don't think there's any way around it. There's always going to be police brutality. There's always going to be human being brutality. It's crazy that we have, and I guess we have to have, some sort of organization that polices crime and stuff like that. So I get it. It's just frustrating to watch the amount of video. I mean, because they're never going to show you the good videos. You know, and I've had good encounters with police
There is
officers
once in a while, but it's pretty rare.
For sure. And we've all had good encounters with police officers. It's just, when you give someone authority, it's just crazy what the human experience will do to you.
Like the psyche.
Yeah, the psyche of the human mind when you have that. And it's really, you
that
don't
comes
really
on the-
don't
that
even
comes
have
on the-
authority. You're supposed, you don't have authority.
Honestly, you know what's crazy about that is that goes, and I don't want to, honestly, I'm just using this as an example. I do not want to transition this conversation into politics. I'm just using it as an example. It's the same, like the person who wants to be president probably should not be president. It should be someone else who has better ideas. Same thing with police. The person who goes in truly wanting to be a police officer and everything they stand for right now probably should not be a police officer.
I disagree. I disagree with that entirely. Somebody who wants to become a police officer for everything that they stand for, because
everything that the police currently stand for.
What they currently stand for is just representing, like the laws. What you said, they can't help the laws.
No, that's a lie. What the police currently stand for is enforcement of laws that are about taxation and money towards the city and so on and so forth.
So check it out. So I know a police officer that you guys all know, and then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was just curious. I was like, what happens in the evidence room? I was like, what happens whenever there's money in there? He's like, yeah, we take it. If it's like drug money, we take it when it goes to the police force. I was like, so if $1 million, you bust someone for $1 million, it's a drug bust. $1 million, you find it, straight to the police force.
I mean, devil's advocate, where is it supposed to go?
Just fucking spread it out to the community. Give everyone $10. I don't know. Take it off their
money,
water bill.
Why not put the money into something that prevents
crime? Yeah,
crime.
I mean, that would be the police force, right?
But no, they don't prevent crime though. They apprehend criminals.
You're right.
That's
All they do is apprehend.
That goes back to what I said about the police force. That's the problem.
Don't militarize the police force.
If
with
you
that
go
$1 million.
in to the police force wanting to be a police officer for the reason that it is now, that's an issue. If you want to go in making it better and being like I can't even say it because I'm not old enough to know. I'm truly not. I'm just going off of like anecdotal evidence and like old stories and shit. But like, quote unquote, what happened to the good old days when if a kid got pulled over for speeding, they would take that kid, be like, yo, don't do this. This is dangerous. You're going to hurt yourself or someone else. Take me to where you live so I can talk to your parents and drop you off at your front door because I am here for the betterment of the community. No, you don't have that anymore. You have, hey,
here's a citation.
Here's your police ticket or here's your ticket.
Give me money.
So that give the city money.
Right.
That's what you have.
It's not give the city money. It's give the police force money.
Either or. You're
right.
No, there's no teaching there. There's no teaching. There's a punishment without a lesson.
Well,
and what's weird? Okay, coming down to that, as far as financial punishment goes, has different variances. Because a $100 fine to somebody who's poor is extreme. A $100 speeding ticket to somebody who makes $100,000 a year
is nothing.
I'm just like, he's like, I'm gonna literally jerk off right after you pull your cruiser away from me. I'm gonna just put it into fucking first. I'm gonna literally start
just
masturbating
speed
and
off
laughing. Probably go to a strip club and spend $1,000 right now is what I'm about to do, because that was my end goal. So I really like what fucking Canada. I don't. This might be Canada. It's somewhere. It might not be fucking Canada, but they actually have a percentage to your wage whenever it comes to fines. So a $100 fine to a poor person would maybe be a $10,000 fine to somebody who makes like $350,000 a year, to where it actually like stings financially, because they had that mentality. You don't learn from financial shit unless it actually stings you a little bit.
That's a double-edged.
So you break the law.
That's extorting, man. I'm with Johnny.
That's a double-edged sword.
It depends on where the money goes, but I think that's a more efficient method.
That's a double-edged sword, because the better you do in life, the more money you make. When you get in trouble, the more money you have to spend for the same crime. So that's also not fair.
If you're talking about a blind judgment,
you're getting punished more for achieving more. You make the same mistake. Someone who makes $20,000 a year and someone who has done more and makes $500,000 a year gets charged more for the same crime.
Yes, because it's equal. It makes it equal. Because it makes
the
rich person.
No, there's less of a reason to succeed. You're getting punished more for being quote unquote more successful.
No, it's the same financially. The whole difference is the fact that you're rich and you can do the same thing, but the punishment is nothing to you, and you can get away with more. Because you're more financially fucking
I get
well
what you're
off.
saying, but I guess
so everybody should be held equally accountable for things, right?
Fines aren't the way to go. Fines aren't the way to go in the first place.
Exactly.
Honestly.
I think it's.
So you start cutting off dicks? Like, what the fuck do
you
do?
No, I go back to what I said about it being about fucking educating people.
Exactly.
And just preventing it in general?
Yes.
Exactly, like Johnny said in the good old days. We've all heard stories of it. Like,
should there be speeding tickets?
DUIs never used to exist in the United States in the 70s or 80s. You know, you'd be in the country, granted it wasn't in the city. You fucking wasted. They'll pull you over. Hey, I'm gonna take you home. I'll give you a ride home. You shouldn't be driving drunk.
My mom has some crazy ass stories about her brothers, my uncles, just getting fucking shit faced and literally like fucking with the sheriff. Literally fucking with the sheriff, and the sheriff was just like, fucking the Adams boys are at it again. And he was like, he knew they're good old fucking, don't get me wrong, this is Illinois country, Southern Illinois, just countries.
That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter.
But he's like, hey, it's like, we're gonna drive you home. You got a little bit fucking too much.
But what's frustrating? Exactly.
Apparently,
that's not the case anymore.
My uncle Brad stole a horse after being arrested the night before by the same cop or whatever, same sheriff. Rode the horse that he stole, and then called him out like cowboy style. Come out of your house, like officer, whatever. And he literally had to come out of the house and call up my grandma. And he was like, "You need to come get your son. Get him the fuck off.
If you do that
stole
now,
this fucking horse."
If you do that now, it gets escalated, and there's 6 cops there.
There should be. I'm not saying that fines shouldn't happen for DUIs or speeding or whatever. I'm just saying there has to be the same thing with the cheeseburger. There has to be, instead of everything going by the book, by the fucking rules, fucking black and white, there needs to be a little bit of personal judgment there. Those should be the people who are the police. The person who can say, yo, this kid is 16 years old. He's learning some shit about life. And he fucking bought a brand new too fast car for him and decided to go fucking 95 down the highway instead of 70. So you know what we do? We pull him over, say, yo, don't do that. You're going to hurt/kill someone or yourself, so on and so forth. We're impounding your car for a day. That's going to cost you some money. Sorry about your bad luck. Now I'm taking you to your parents. You're not getting a ticket. You're not going to jail. I'm going to talk about this with your fucking parents. They're going to fucking discipline you. Yada, 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 so on and so forth. And try to teach someone something. Yeah, there's differences. You don't do the same thing with the person who goes and fucking murders 3 people, obviously. There has to be some judgment. There has to be some human judgment there.
Sure, and they should have that. But they should have that naturally.
Wait, hold up. This is the law, black and white. This is what I'm supposed to do in this specific situation, regardless of age, regardless of culture or location or anything. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Do you think how you cannot become a cop? I'm pretty sure. I know if you have a felony, but I'm pretty sure if you have certain other levels of criminal activity you did whenever, like, let's say you did some fucked up shit whenever you're like 19.
Yeah, I mean,
as an adult. Like, I could never become a cop because of the shit that I've fucking been through. But I'm like, why don't you want that? Because I'm like, you would almost have a better judgment call coming into things, and you have a better understanding.
I guarantee you still could if you try hard enough.
No, Jesse could not.
No,
Jesse could not.
You never know, man.
No, it's literally, it's like against the law for Jesse to become a cop because of his situation.
I can't run for office. I can't fucking... My biggest fucking benefit from the stupid shit I did back when I was 19, which I never hurt anyone. It was just stealing shit.
Wait, you made mistakes when you were 19 years old? Holy shit.
Yeah.
And you know
what?
what?
A little bit worse
And you know what happened?
than some people.
The public education failed you, and they failed everyone else. That's what it comes down to.
No, they didn't fail him.
Yeah.
He made mistakes because that's what you do when you're 19.
No, and we can't all be perfect. I know that. But what I'm saying is when it comes to laws and on how to...
I blame that shit on my parents, by the way.
What I'm saying is they could do better.
And it's not even like I'm blaming my parents. It's okay. I'm not blaming my parents, but me and my parents are such different individuals, and I can't help this, that it caused so much fucking tension, which caused this uproar. Whenever you have fucking struggles with your parents, like, life becomes difficult, and you fucking lash out and fucking do stupid shit whenever you're young, especially as a male. Right when you get all that testosterone, you just want to fuck everything. You just want to fuck everything. You just want to fucking just
fuck it all.
Be like, there is no... Yeah, being young and a male is very scary. It's fucking scary. You're
time
ruthless.
in your life.
No, you just a lot of males are just super fucking ruthless. Like, you're just trying to, especially if you have any kind of trouble in your fucking past or any kind of fucking issue. Nobody has a perfect upbringing, but some people have better upbringings than others.
The police officer that all three of us know, which I will not mention by name on here because I'm not. I love the dude and I'm not trying to call him out for anything, but we all know him. We all know that he has done things in the past that probably aren't... You know what? I'm going to leave it at that just in case there was someone who knew the person that we're talking about, so I'm going to stop there.
I think what it comes down to is that they have too much authority, and it's frustrating. I mean, you go back to the case where the dude in New York, the cop thought he was selling illegal cigarettes outside of a gas station, the big black dude. The cop ended up choking him out. 3 other guys. He's a big guy. Killed him. Killed the guy.
I know that story.
You know,
I know that story.
And it's one of many, man. It's one of thousands of stories that happen each year. And they're killing people. Cops are killing people, innocent people, because they have that.
People are killing people. People are killing people.
Well, they're cops. Cops are killing people.
Sometimes cops kill people too.
Yes. But they have that authority, and then they get away with it.
It makes it easier to...
And then they investigate themselves.
Do some shit.
It's all fucked, man. It's all fuckery. 100%. You kill someone, and then your own department investigates that crime.
I mean, it's usually not your own department. It's some kind of internal affairs from a different department.
There was a chick. She's an off-duty cop. Going to her apartment. She opened the door, thought it was her apartment. It wasn't her apartment. There was a dude just chilling eating ice cream. Fucking shot him and killed him. Dead. Because she thought it was her apartment. She's getting like 6 years. You and I do that? How long is that? That's life, man. 25 years or more.
First of all, that story makes no sense to me. And I know exactly the story that you're talking about. How do you... And I remember hearing, not the arraignment, but
it was
the
like
actual...
10 years, sorry, but...
Yeah, but the actual thing where the prosecuting attorney was like... It's not even the same layout as your fucking apartment. Like, it doesn't even look like your fucking apartment.
You have to be super fucked up to walk into someone else's house, and which has happened. We've all been there.
The dude is just... And it's an apartment complex, so it's a little different than just, like, houses. Our house is very distinct. We would never just... I don't care. I could be blackout fucking drunk and not miss our fucking house.
You're not just going to walk into Todd and Lisa's.
We still have a lot of fucking Halloween decorations up. So there's no... We're the only house in Cimarron fucking Trails that has fucking Halloween decorations still up. So you don't miss our fucking house. But, I mean, like, even if you do walk into a fucking place and you don't recognize that this isn't your place, like, right off the fucking bat, like, how tired could you be supposedly coming off a shift? This whole thing was very confusing to me. And your first reaction is just to shoot a motherfucker who, don't get me wrong, he was probably like, what the fuck you doing in my goddamn house? And then she's just like empties a 45 into his fucking chest or whatever, which is awful. But I don't know what to handle with that. Like that's such a weird fucking case scenario.
She got, I think it was like 10 years, man. You or I would get 25 years to life. And now they're held at a different standard when it comes to getting prosecuted.
But
like
she was
that.
off duty though.
Yeah, but she's still a cop, and that was her sentence. So now they have an advantage to be a cop, and when you kill someone, you're going to spend less time in jail.
I mean, you have an
For
advantage.
the most part.
You have an advantage in every field.
Paul,
no,
trust
technically,
me. Paul, trust me. What was it like? Even 5 to 10, 5 to 10 in jail for a cop, a known cop, is basically
years. 2 years.
No, that's even
That's
2 years is a
that's
life fucking
a life
sentence.
sentence.
A known cop in fucking prison. You want to talk about a bad fucking time, dude? The only people that get it worse than fucking cops in fucking prison are fucking child molesters. And I bet you they pair them almost exactly the fucking same if you're a cop.
But I get what Paul's saying.
You don't think they're going to put her in some special unit to where she doesn't get fucked with?
Maybe.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Maybe.
Not a
That's
chance,
still not
bro.
where you want to be, though.
Dude,
still not. You want to be
if you-
isolated?
if
You want to
you-
be isolated for fucking 2 years?
If you killed someone the same way that she did, you'd be in fucking handcuffs while you're walking into that courtroom. She was walking freely with all her fucking cop friends around her.
I think the
Like
fucked up
nothing.
part of that is that honestly, you get, and this is so weird because they don't compare, but they kind of do in a way. You get advantages to different things, regardless of where you're working. It just depends on where you're working.
For sure.
Unfortunately, for police, that would be less jail time if you fuck up, right? Which is a pretty big advantage. For me, in the industry that I work, my advantage is that I can go to a bar with someone I know and be like, yo, I get free drinks. I get free drinks all night. That's my advantage. Your advantage is you get 2 years instead of 10 years.
the fact that
So
their
they're
employer,
different levels.
You got to think about this. Their employer.
I'm not wrong though, right? Like
the police chief, the commissioner, whatever it is. The police chief commissioner is in close ties with the DA. And so now the DA trying to come up with a good sentencing and what they're going to charge this person with, they now have in the back of their ear a close friend over decades or whatever going, hey, this is one of my employees. I know them personally. I can tell you right now that they're a good person. And then the DA gets soft.
That's
But
bullshit.
that's just you got to think about it like logically. That's why that happens. DAs, people that are charging police with these crimes, dude, there's people around them that employ them and can give personal testimonies to their character.
It's
though.
bullshit. You kill someone. You
hold
kill
up.
A gangster can't have a personal testimony.
Hold up. I don't think that's bullshit. I actually think that they're doing it the correct way. That goes back to what I said. They're not following the book. They're not going by white and black. They're going by just normal personal feelings and giving a little bit of leeway and going how a normal person should react. The bullshit is that they don't do that with random people.
Exactly.
Like you and me.
Right.
That we get the black and white. We get the fucking book thrown at us. When in all reality, no. That cop could have been a good person who made a mistake. So you give them a little leeway. You know what, Paul? You could have been a good person who made a mistake. You don't get the leeway, though. You get the book thrown at you. That's the issue.
Yeah, 100%.
He still shot a fucking guy, though.
Who, me?
No. I'm talking about like her.
The chick cop?
Yeah,
She still fucking shot a guy.
Yeah.
Who is completely innocent.
Gone, dead. Never coming back.
No,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Like if me and you were just tired as fuck and drunk, dude, you're right. They completely fuck us. It'd
be done, dude.
It'd be life. It wouldn't be like some 5-year fucking thing. But I explained to you the reasoning behind that they have personal testament accounts to their character in the ears of fucking people because they're literally the system that's prosecuting them is a system that they've become friendly with, and that's their group.
That's just life. That's literally their job.
It's like if our restaurant that we fucking work at had to fucking judge us, and I did some shit wrong, but I was to be judged by
your peers,
by
your
my
coworkers.
peers. They'd be like, "Oh, we know this guy. Like he's,
Do you think
we know Jesse's cousin? Jesse's cousin is dope.
This guy's a fucking hard work. Yeah.
Do you think?
Jesse's cousin.
You think we could ever get someone on the podcast who could explain how they got America the way it is today?
What do you mean?
Like
that's a big
someone deep within the system who owns part of America.
No.
That would be fucking righteous, man. Maybe not righteous. It would be pretty killer, pretty sweet. Have them on and then just kind of explain how they've propagated and controlled the masses for us to believe what we believe in today, or just control us to where we're okay with all the shit that's happening, I would love to talk to that person.
I'm trying to remember who fucking said it, but it was quoted something along the lines of, you will no longer need to control the population whenever you give them enough entertainment.
Bread and circus, man.
And enough.
It's the Roman times, bread and circus.
It's whenever you give them enough
gladiators
entertainment
existed.
And enough amenities to where they will never argue against you, and you have them in prison. It's not through forceful, you can't do this. You give them just enough, and then you control them.
That's why booze existed in ancient Egypt. They gave them, it was liquid bread, which was booze, which calmed everybody down. Like they literally had ale, basically, which calmed everybody down, made everybody in a controllable state.
Fucking calms me down, man. Fucking booze does not.
Yeah, booze gets you out of control.
Yeah, you're right. But when you're only given one beer, that's it.
3 beers would calm you down for sure. Or 1 if you never had a beer. 1 to 3.
Not an
chill.
Uncontrollable. The point. I'm just agreeing with what you're saying here, Jesse, about the control thing, the bread and entertainment.
I would just love to talk to that person, honestly.
No, it was the difference between Orwell and the other guy. Orwell said they're going to control
Orwell
us.
And the other guy, Orville Redenbacher.
No,
Popcorn.
So Orwell was fucking wrong in the sense that he thought we would be controlled through just suppression of everything. The other guy, who I cannot fucking remember his name, and I feel like a dumbass, he was like, no, they're going to give us everything, and then they're going to control us through that.
You're right. The second guy was right. I don't know his name, but the second guy was right.
That was a great opportunity for me to fucking shine right there with information, but I couldn't follow through with it.
Jesse would have known. Jesse's cousin doesn't.
You're right. I'm just Jesse's cousin. I don't know nearly as much as that guy. This is half-hearted, what I'm saying.
We're at the top of the hour. For anyone who's listening, we had 3 new subscribers this week, so I appreciate you guys subscribing. If you listened to it in its entirety, next week we have Mike Anderson on.
Jesse will be back.
He will be. The following week we'll have
Johnny will be sober.
He will be. And we'll have a woman on by the name of Jen. The following week after that, we're going to talk about some... I'm
really excited about that one.
Some health shit, some shots, all that good stuff. She's going to be on the 24th.
Like tequila shots?
Yeah. Mike Anderson on next week, man. Get ready for it. Hit the like button. Hit the bell notification. Most importantly, share this fucking video on Facebook, wherever. Just share it, because we're getting suppressed extremely hard. We're not getting recommended. Maybe not suppressed. We're just not getting recommended in any way, shape, or form.
Suppressed.
Yeah. So just do all that for us. Hit the like button. Hit the bell notification. And
said that a couple of times now.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, man. Oh, you've done that. And to all
good to see you guys.
And to all our junkies out there,
stay fly and ring the bell.
Because I'm Jesse's cousin.
It was opposite. It was weird.